Obviously, when Gaijin adds 5th generation fighters, there's going to be a lot of controversy with all of them, rather it be the F-35, the F-22, the Su-57, and so on. The J-20, however, might carry the most controversy. So if you guys are not too familiar, the J-20, unlike all of the other 5th gens, and I do understand that the F-35B and C are in the same boat, but we'll talk about that here in a second, it does not carry an onboard gun. Now, why this actually might be a crucial thing is depending on how Gaijin, models stealth, we might actually see close-range engagements being a very, very viable, outcome in these long-range ARB maps that we'll have with 5th gen, so a gun might actually hinder the J-20 heavily. Yes, I understand there's talks about it having a gun pod. I have not seen enough to actually back that up. I understand it does not carry one. Normally, the F-35B and the C both do not have a gun, but they are absolutely outfitted with a gun pod, and it's in active service, so that is not like it maybe does or doesn't, it absolutely does. So the big advantage to the J-20 is obviously its air-to-air missiles, like the PL-15 and PL-10. And then another big hindrance with the platform, like we talked about, it doesn't have the gun, is actually the build of the aircraft. So the J-20 has canards, and why it has canards, there's a couple reasons. One, it is such a large aircraft. It's made to do long-range missions out over the Pacific Ocean, because, that's where China is located geologically. It's going to need to fly for long combat sorties over open water, so it needed to be, a very large, it's the largest 5th generation aircraft ever produced. And because of that, it's not very maneuverable. I know a lot of people might take that hard to be either via China propaganda or just, the thought process of some people. They think the J-20 is hyper-maneuverable. It's not. The big reason it has canards is to try to give it some form of actual maneuverability to maybe be relevant in some form of aspect of an engagement. It's not going to go toe-to-toe with an F-22. It's definitely not going to go toe-to-toe with something like an F-18, at least in basic fighter maneuvers, in close quarters combat. So, on top of all that, the canards do not help the stealth at all. There's no benefit to having canards for a stealth platform. It doesn't make it any more stealthy. It hurts the stealth, if anything. Now, the J-20 stealth is another thing that is going to have a lot of controversy, because a lot of people think it is the most stealthiest 5th generation out there. I have had so many comments over the years saying the J-20 is the best 5th generation in the world, and I do agree it's the best 5th generation outside of what the United States has to offer. Remember, keep in mind, guys, the J-20 first flew in 2011, entered service in 2017. Even China is a solid 20 years behind the development of 5th generation against something like the United States. And keep in mind, the United States has fielded the F-35 and the F-22. The J-20, number-wise, is the second most produced second most produced 5th generation platform out there outside of the F-35. It is estimated that between 320 and 350 J-20s have been built as of 2026. Now, those numbers obviously are not fully confirmed, but that is the base idea. As well as they started development of the J-20S, which I have limited information on. That is just a twin-seat J-20. It's supposed to, I guess, control drones and electronic warfare equipment systems in future combat. But, that's still in development and whatnot. I'm not actually sure the number-wise for the J-20S. I'd have to look at that again. So the J-20, put into service in 2017, its job for the Chinese People's Air Force is to go out and take out American AWACS and tanker aircraft support aircraft. It's not made to be able to go up against things like the F-22 and F-35. It's made to target, other nation, like, supporting roles, like Japanese, prior to when they actually got the F-35, they did not operate any sort of 5th gen. Taiwan, same boat that they were in. The J-20 was meant to go up and after 4th generation aircraft, go up and after American supporting aircraft and American 4th generation aircraft like the F-18. That was what the big reason for the J-20 is. And look at the design of it. It's made to be a long-range aircraft. It's made to be able to do, to be able to operate far from Chinese land, out over the ocean, and go up and after these American supporting aircraft, or, you know, supporting aircraft of Taiwan or Japan, or even South Korea. The issue is, in War Thunder, we know so little about the J-20. Gaijin's going to have to be, you know, play a lot of a guessing game. And as we've seen with Chinese stuff in the past, especially some of the tank stuff, Gaijin seems to lead more heavily into the unknown of the aircraft. So, very likely we'll see the J-20 being very stealthy. We know for a fact it's not incredibly stealthy, like I said. The way its engines are designed, the canards, just hurts the stealth. The F-22 and the F-35 are both built from the ground up to be stealthy. Both make sacrifices in the design to be stealthy. That's the main principle of the aircraft. China has not done that. China is even in development now of a new engine, I think it's the WS-15 engine, to improve its speed and super cruise capability. I believe last time I checked that also will continue to hinder the stealth. It doesn't have the same, if you look at the development of the thrust vectoring for the F-22, it's still very stealthy. The J-20 does not have that. Overall, I think the J-20 is going to be the most controversial 5th generation aircraft once we have it, you know, arriving to the game. It'll carry good air-to-air missiles. It'll carry a decent radar. The radar I know almost nothing about. The radar it has is I believe it's the type 1475 or KLJ5 ASA radar. And there's not a lot known about it. The J-20 is supposed to have the same sensor fusion as the F-35. It has an Iris-T. But I'm not too sure on the actual sensor fusion data. It's probably more comparable to the Raptor, and the Raptor is obviously behind the F-35 in that, as the F-35 is brand new. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you guys think the J-20 is going to be the most controversial 5th generation aircraft? Do you guys think it's actually going to be good, or do you guys think it's going to be kind of meh? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys are not already subscribed, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. It helps out a lot. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.